What up, fam? So I just wanted to get on here because I just had like a really intense conversation with a friend of mine. Um, and we really got into the whole thought process because she was talking about how, she goes to church and, one of her friends was going through some things. And so I sparked a conversation, right? And the conversation went, I don't know, amazing. Anyway, so I want to share. So my thought process was that the church keeps you confined in a box. You know what I mean? So the religious thought process and beliefs keep you small. What am I trying to say? Lord, that we need to get out of looking at God in this little confined box. It was more so like, I'm trying to live right. I'm trying to, get myself according to the 10 Commandments and things of that nature, right? And God created us in His image. God is the one to do the transformation. Our job is to link to Him, to seek Him, right? As we seek Him, our desires change. How we view things change. Like, for example, I was a smoker for a long time. I smoked cigarettes back in the day, you know what I mean? So started off young, being in the group homes. And yeah, I was young, so I got introduced to smoking and smoking like 420. And then if we didn't have that, then all we had was nicotine. So I smoked for like 16 years. Why I'm sharing that is because I was a habitual smoker. Like I smoked and back to back and the whole nine. And in my walk with Christ, because everybody will be like, oh, that's not Christian, like, smoking, having a vice, having something, Anywho, so God changed that desire for me. I quit it cold turkey. I didn't do it by my own, how do I say, on my own, like, because I tried before on my own. But once I released it, I was like, Lord, you already know. I don't even like cigarettes. I don't like the smell. I started not liking the smell. I started, like it was just disgusting. So God changed that within me. I didn't have to. I just had to surrender it. That means that, yeah, I'm probably going to spark up and smoke another one. You know what I mean? I'm still going to be in that, but seeking that relationship with Him and understanding and trusting that He's the one that's going to make that change, right? Don't mind how I'm looking, you know what I mean? Let's not talk. Anywho, so that was one conversation. We were talking about that, like, people look for perfection, like seeking, like, oh, I need to, if I don't go to church, oh my gosh, if I don't make it to Bible study, oh, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, it's a personal relationship with Christ. I don't know how much more I gotta say it, but the scripture where it says, when it says, Lord, Lord, we did this for you and we did that for you, and He says, depart from me, you worker of iniquity, for you, I do not know thee. So that means you could be going to church, doing all the right things, checking all the right boxes, but you still don't know Jesus. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, it's a personal relationship. I am, we talked about how, I said, have you ever just like cried out to God, like deeply, you know what I mean? Like to the soul, like felt soul release, right? She was like, no. She was like, I haven't done that in church, because, you go up to, I was like, girl, I'm talking about personally. in your quiet place, talking to God. I said, church is performative. Church is where you go and people, oh, how are you? And, how's the family? You know what I mean? And please give me all your information. And then, oh, well, Sister Johnson, did you hear? Her son was, did you get what happened to the daughter? Oh, Lord, just be with them. You know what I mean? It's like you go and share all your info to these people so that they can, in turn, be like this. And I said, man, there's people, they're sitting at the pulpit, not straight with God. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity. The spirit of the Pharisee is throughout this whole thing. Pharisees, in the Bible, and you get in there, you know what I mean? They're the ones that prayed at the wall and, showed people like, oh, look at me. I'm doing my 3rd daily prayer. You know what I mean? It's your heart, guys. It's your heart. Where is your heart? Where's your heart posture with the Lord? Know him personally. Get to know him. It's not about how many times you go to church. It's not about telling your business to the pastor and the first lady. You know what I mean? Getting to go to lunch with the first lady. You know what I mean? Believe you me, I grew up in church. I know politics. I've had, first ladies gossiping about, the people at the church. It's just kind of like, it's sad. It's sad, and then people get stuck in this cycle of this box. And I'm cool. I rather have a personal connection with the Lord. So no, I'm not your typical Christian. I'm not your church-going Christian. No. I'd rather have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and I'd rather share it from my experience with Christ, my walk with the Lord. You know what I mean? Just like that little snippet of how Enoch walked with God. How powerful is that? He walked with God, and he got snatched up from the earth. He didn't even die. His body was never buried. Okay? But we reject his writings because it doesn't conform to our belief, like how we were taught to believe. God is outside the box. There's so much more to God. We're all connected, right? We were made in his image. We're consciousness. God thought of us and created us, right? It's so much more depth to it than just what the scriptures describe. We have to step out of the box, guys. The other thought that I told her, I was like, what I think it's crazy is people don't acknowledge. People want to say, astrology is demonic. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about astrology. The 3 wise men looked to the stars, astrology, for signs. They followed the star. How do you think they were prepared for that? Did they study astrology? Did they study the stars? Because there was a lot of that back then, right? But all of a sudden it's demonic. Food for thought. Okay. The other thing is technology. How, the Egyptians had their pyramids and things of that nature, how they're aligned perfectly with the stars. They knew about energy. They knew about all of these ancient wisdom. And then I asked the question, where did Jesus go? Where did Joseph and Mary go to hide from King Herod? Jesus was in Egypt. He was in Egypt. Nothing is spoken about that. Right? And even now, with all the knowledge, we are frequency. We're vibration. We're energy. Plants have energy. We're all connected. We're all connected. We're with the Creator. We're one. The other one that I want to say, I constantly talk about self-love. Jesus literally says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. How can you love your neighbor when you don't love yourself? Loving self is getting to know who you are. Getting to the core of yourself. Who are you? This is an experience, guys. Life is an experience. What kind of an experience would you like to have? Outside of your belief system, start digging in. What kind of experience would you like to have? Because like I said, when they said the zombie apocalypse, this is zombie apocalypse. Zombies are the sleeping brains, the sleeping people that are not awakened to themselves. You just wake up, go to work, go home, eat, go to bed, wake up, go to work. You're just in a hamster wheel. You don't know what you like. You don't know who you are. You're just going with the motions, playing into whatever energetic games, agendas this world has. That's the truth. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I'm just, I just thought it was a wonderful conversation to really dig deep and go outside of the box. Jesus came to teach us a lot, and he spoke in parables. For those that are able to hear, for those that are able to have that understanding. We talked about the rapture. I really feel that we experience the rapture in real time. How do you say? Because God elevates us spiritually, consciously, right? And you leave people behind because you no longer connect that way. They no longer fit into your world. Because energetically, you've been elevated. What's the saying? New levels, new devils. It's for a purpose and a reason. You leave people behind. And even when Jesus was speaking to the man where he was like, what do I need to do to follow you? He was like, go ahead and give your riches away. Walk away from everything and come with me. No, thank you. He wasn't willing to detach himself from material things. You have to be willing to leave everything behind. He says, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all the desires of your heart will be added to you. You have to seek him first. But what y'all do, what we all do, what we have all done, is seek validation from outside of ourselves. Seek the opinions of others. Worry about what others think of us. Once you go in and connect with the Lord, none of that matters. Because you're not attached to this world in the sense. You are attached to him. He's your sole provider. He's your sole everything. He's my everything. And when he's your everything, I lack nothing. And when you're there, it's like he gives you peace that surpasses all understanding. Like, how sweet. What a joy to find yourself in peace with the Lord, in communion with the Lord. You know what I mean? And no, it's not fitting the box of today's society. I don't know. I just wanted to share that, fam. My bad. It's a little longer than need be. Oh, but love y'all. Hope everybody's doing good. Stay blessed. Stay encouraged and seek the Lord. Seek the truth. All right, y'all.